Hello everybody. This is Mommy with Flowers by the Bunch. I hope you are having a wonderful day. So I have an order for an arrangement to go out with lots of Gerber Daisies. This is for an anniversary, so I thought I would make this arrangement with you guys. I'm going to start out. This is just a glass vase filled with fresh water, and we've added a little bit of flower food to the water. I'm going to start out with a little bit of leather leaf just as a base. And I am just going to tuck this leather right into this container. You want to try to keep the foliage out of the water if you can. All right, next I'm going to come in with a couple of hydrangeas. So our hydrangeas come with a little sleeve on them. And so I removed that sleeve and I'm just fluffing that hydrangea just a little bit, because they're just tucked tight into that sleeve, and so you just need a little bit of fluffing. All right, so I've got my hydrangeas in, and what they're going to do is they're going to serve as a little bit of a grid. Now I'm going to come in with my bells of Ireland. Bells of Ireland always come in with these little leaves at the tip. I pinch those out. Now, it's not necessary, you don't have to do it, but the reason I do is because number one, it gives them a haircut and it looks nice, but number two, it'll help straighten these stems. So they should straighten right up. So I'm going to tuck 3 stems of bells of Ireland. But if you like that little foliage in that tip, feel free to leave that. That's all in preference. Next, I'm going to come in with a little solidago. That's going to help me some more with my grid. And keep my other flowers standing up straight. All right, and then I have some buttons, some yellow button daisies. I love buttons. I like how unique they are. And they do. They look just like little buttons that would go on your shirt. And they're happy little flowers. And they last a long time. So this one has a little broken stem. Its head's broken. So I'm going to take some snips, and I'm just snipping that little stem right out. Just cleaning it up a little bit. Next, these are just yellow spray roses. I love happy little spray roses. You can always adjust after you've made the arrangement. I have some pretty pink roses. This is kind of a bubblegum pink. I'm not sure of the variety. For some reason, my packages didn't have the variety names. I like to order roses in a multi-box where it has 4 bundles of different colors. And for some reason, this box didn't have varieties, which is strange. Usually the little sleeve that your roses come in have the variety of the rose, but this one didn't. So we're just working with pretty roses. I don't know their varieties. But this one's kind of a bubblegum pink. And I'm just taking them and I'm wiring their head. So I'm taking the rose. This is just a florist wire. I'm pushing it right into that calyx. And then I'm twisting that wire right around that stem. Now that's another thing that's preference. For me, personally, it guarantees that these roses are going to last longer for my customer. So it just makes me feel better. It's completely up to you whether you want to wire them or not. This variety though is nice. It doesn't have lots of thorns, so that's good. And then I have a pretty rose lily, so I'm going to strip that greenery, and I'm going to tuck this rose lily in. I think that one bale doesn't want to stand up for me today. Here we go. I'm going to tuck this rose lily in. It smells real pretty. I tuck that right in the front. And then I've got these roses I'm going to tuck here and there in this arrangement. Just another pretty pink, but one up high. All right, I've got some pretty orange Alstroemeria lilies, and sometimes the foliage on Alstros can get beat up, so I'm just kind of pulling some of that foliage off. These are pretty and open. I kind of tucked those pretty deep down into an arrangement. I just tucked it there. It gives us some color, and these also last a long time, so that's always nice. They're like the button mums. They'll last a long time and stay pretty. Nothing better than long-lasting blooms. So let me tell you a trick that'll help you keep your flower arrangement lasting longer. Is every other day, take your flowers and pull them right out of that container, just holding them tight, and change that water. Pour that water out, add fresh water to it, and then cut your stems with some sharp scissors and tuck them back in that vase. They're going to last a lot longer for you. So these are Gerber Daisies, and this was the main part of this arrangement that he wanted, brightly colored Gerber Daisies. Now what I am doing is I'm wiring their heads also. So they come usually with this little straw on them. And I don't love that straw is so dark green and it shows up in the vase. So I'm just pulling that right off, and I'm wiring the stems. You always have to be kind of careful with Gerbers. They have kind of a brittle stem, so they pop pretty easy. So just be careful trying to maneuver their heads. They don't do very well with being maneuvered. And what I'm doing with that wire is I'm just pushing it right up into the bottom, the base of this flower, and just wrapping it right around those stems. All right, so we are I'm just taking those blooms and I'm just pushing them down, the petals, and pushing them down just a little bit, very, very softly. And I'm going to this is a smaller bloom, so I'm going to put it kind of up here, pretty high in the arrangement right there. And then here's a pretty red that has a pretty good sized bloom. I'm going to tuck it a little lower in the arrangement. And then I have another orange that I'll tuck on the back side. So I'm just kind of going all the way around. You just want to make sure that you get the flowers all the way around in your vase. So I just tucked him right back there. There's a pretty pink. And a white. So Gerber Daisies are her favorite, so that's why we're being sure to make sure there's a good many stems of the Gerber Daisies in this arrangement. And they are pretty happy flowers, aren't they? They're so happy. Okay, so you can see I have a little bit of foliage down in that vase, so I'm going to pull it out. I'm pulling my flowers out. I'm just removing any of the foliage that falls below that water line. What that does is it just makes sure that we're not aiding the growth of bacteria in that water. Okay, so that helped. And that's exactly what you're going to do when you change out your water, is you're just going to pull it out and hold it in your hands, and then you're going to change that water. And so it's nice to have someone help you. Okay, I'm going to set this arrangement to the side. This is called aspidistra. It's a little dirty. I'm taking it, I'm just rubbing it right on my blue jeans, and it cleaned up that leaf. I'm going to tuck this leaf in the top of this arrangement, kind of right up here, just to give us a little bit of whimsy in this arrangement. Here's another aspidistra, just taking that, rubbing it on my pants to clean it off. I'm going to make a loop with that aspidistra, it's just like some ribbon, and I am going to take that wire and just wrap it around that stem. And I'm going to tuck that one low right here.
So whatever.
So next what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of lily grass. And I love lily grass. I like grasses because they give us such a whimsy, and it's just pretty. Isn't it pretty? It's kind of a variegated lily grass. Now, you can go out in your yard and you can cut grasses out of your yard. I know a lot of us have like pampas grass and ornamental grasses growing in our yard. You have to be careful with those grasses because the blade of that grass will cut you. The wonderful thing about lily grass is it doesn't. It doesn't cut. I don't know why it has a smooth edge that doesn't cut like lily grass, like pampas grass or some of the ornamentals. So if you go out and cut grass out of your yard, which is perfectly okay, be sure to wear gloves and long sleeves because it'll even cut your arms when you're sticking your hands down in there to cut it. I'm going to take this grass. I am going to make a loop. I'm leaving a couple of stems loose, the ends loose. I'm going to make a loop here, and I'm going to flip these stems, the ends of that grass up. So I'm just kind of making like a little ponytail, okay? And I'm going to take another piece of wire and I'm going to wrap it right around. I'm just going to tuck that right down into that arrangement. And what this does is it just gives some interest. It's just pretty and fun, gives a little bit of interest to that arrangement. Next, because this is for a fun anniversary, I am going to, I don't even know where the front is. I think this is the front back here. This is the front. So I'm going to move this guy over just a little because I don't want him sticking out right in the front. I'm going to lift that. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is make a fun bow to go on this arrangement, okay? So I have 3 different satin ribbons. I'm going to start with my pink, and I'm just going to make a few loops with this ribbon. Now, satin ribbon, floral satin, is 2-sided. It has a back side and a front side. The front side is usually shiny and the back side is a little more matte. I'm going to take it and make a loop, and then I'm twisting that ribbon. And the reason I twist it is because that puts the shiny side on the front. I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to twist, and I'm going to make a 3rd loop, and I'm going to twist, okay? So I've got 3 loops, and I'm going to cut that streamer, just like that. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of green to my bow, and I'm just going to do exactly what I did with the pink. I'm laying it right on the back side and holding it with my pointer finger. Make a loop, twist, a loop, twist, a loop, and twist. And then I'm going to add some orange. So it just kind of makes it fun. Now, ribbon is all in your preference. You can add ribbon or you don't have to. Completely up to you. It can be bright fun ribbon. It can be more muted tones. It's really completely your preference. Just make it fun, and whatever you like is best, okay? I'm taking a little piece of floral wire, and I cut my wire in half because it makes it go further. So I cut it in half, and I use just a half a piece, and I use a half a piece to wire all those flowers and a half a piece to tie off my bow. So fluff your bow however you'd like. just like that. So there's my bow. Next, what I'm gonna do is, instead of using a wire pick, I'm gonna take a stem from my Solidago, and I am going to wrap that wire right onto that Solidago stem. Now, what that's gonna do is, number one, it's recycling. This can be used in this water. It's not gonna hurt it because those flowers are all on these same stems. And it saves money where I don't have to spend money on that wire pick. And it works just the same. I'm gonna take this bow, I'm gonna tuck it down low, right up against that face. So that just gives it a little bit of fun. And there you have it. There's a pretty Gerber Daisy anniversary arrangement. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. I thank you for all those who follow us and who subscribe to our channel. If you like videos like this, please be sure to subscribe down below. And if you want to see more content, you can always go over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Guys, you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you real soon.